Are there special programs available for different kinds of buyers? What is mortgage insurance? How long do I have to be at my job to apply for a home loan? We've answered some of these questions in the first two videos in this three-part series, and we'll answer more today. Hi, I'm here today with Michele Linehan, Senior Mortgage Loan Officer at Centennial Bank. Michele, how is working with your bank different than working with other banks?
Well, I think we have really great communication. And I think one of the things that sets us apart is that we do everything internally. So we have our own processing team, we have our own underwriters, and when you're working on a team and the goal is to get your client to the final goal, I think it makes a huge difference. You know, our underwriters are looking for ways to make things work rather than just looking at risk and trying to turn things down, which sometimes it feels that way with the client. You know, it's not that we're trying to, not do loans. It's just that sometimes you feel like they just ask you for more and more stuff and they look for more and more ways to say no. And we're always looking for ways to say yes. So we're really all on the same team, and we're really working hard to make sure that we can get our clients into their dream home.
Right, that's very important.
We also have all the cool technology. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. You guys have an app.
Yeah, we do. We have an app. You can apply online, you can call, you can apply over the phone, we can fax you an application, we can mail you stuff. So we've got all the cool tools. And that makes it nice. If you're really tech savvy and you want to upload your own documents, you can do that. When you're on the app, you can see your loan progress. So you can see your application's been submitted, you can see when it goes to processing, when it goes to underwriting, when it's approved, which makes it really nice. Cool. And you can access that too as their realtor. So everybody can kind of stay in the loop and figure out what's going on, which some people really like. And then I have clients that just really want that personal, I would rather talk to you, please call me. And my goal is to just work with people the way they want, because everybody's different.
Right. That's very important to find out what communication works best for you. Can you tell me about how loan servicing works?
So loan servicing is kind of a separate animal from actually originating the loan. So we as a bank at this point do not service our own loans, and you will find that with a great deal of banks. The really big guys, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America will do their own servicing. Most local or smaller banks do not. I do think at some point we probably will, but we're not at that point. So when they transfer servicing on a loan, nothing changes in the loan. So your fixed rate loan, your terms remain the same. It's going to stay the same for the life of the loan. The only thing that changes is who you make your payment to.
Right.
And of course, when you work with somebody like us, we're there for you. So if you have questions, when you get your escrow account analysis, if you need somebody to sit down with you and go over it, we're always going to be there for you. And that's our goal. We want you to be a customer for life.
Right.
We want you to be happy. We want you to understand things. And I do that for my clients all the time. So, servicing it is what it is. You can transfer servicing no matter where you go. The loan can be moved up to 2 times. Used to be in the old days, you'd get a new letter every 6 months. Somebody else was getting the payment. But now it's different. It doesn't really move around. And loans really do not get transferred all that much.
Okay.
So chances are when it goes to whoever it's going to go to, it's just going to stay there.
Right, and that's what I hear a lot from people. They're like, well, I want somebody that I can talk to throughout my whole loan.
Oh, sure.
So that's important to know that even if they're not making a payment to you, they can still come talk to you.
Yeah, and I know a lot of lenders that, everybody's busy. And they get a call and it's like, well, you need to talk to your servicer. Well, maybe that's true, but there's no reason they can't come into your office, sit down with you and say, I don't understand this. And if I can't figure it out, I can conference call with them sitting at my desk or, via phone and help them figure out what they need, because I know the questions to ask and they don't necessarily.
Exactly. Yeah, that is definitely very important.
We have a lot of jargon in our business like any other business. And even though it's not really all that complicated, it's nice to have somebody who you can go to.
No, and deals with it on a regular basis.
Exactly.
So they really understand it. Yeah.
We can get it done quick and easy, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Right. So, of course, our biggest questions personally is how can we get our buyers to be closed on time?
Well, right now we're not seeing any delays. As a matter of fact, my underwriting side is they're super fast because things have slowed down a little bit with lack of inventory and rates. We're up, they're back down a little bit, so they're much more attractive than they were when we first started talking. which makes it really nice for the client. I think the best thing that you can do to get your loan closed on time is when your loan officer gives you a list of documents they need, put them together and send them to them as soon as possible,
Right.
and as early in the process as you can. Because the way we work is when I get all those documents and my processor has done her thing, verified employment, done whatever she needs to do, magic on the backside, she'll submit it to my underwriter. And then the underwriters will review the file, possibly before we ever get title work and appraisal. And we can let you know if there's anything we need on your side for your quote credit package, so that you can pull those things together and it'll speed up the process, so that when we get that title work and that appraisal in, it goes back to the underwriter and hopefully we're just done.
Right, and that's what I most often say. Once the offer is accepted, I'll get buyers say, okay, now what? I say, get whatever the lender asks for to them as soon as possible.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing that you can do.
I send an upfront list when I talk to them the first time and they're applying, and then I follow up with them. Sometimes, if you're just pre-qualifying, there's no reason not to send pay stubs, bank statements. A lender can't require those things, but it can help you in the end. Of course, some of them get old and we need to update them, but at least you're kind of ahead on the process. Some things don't get old, driver's license, social security cards, stuff like that we usually collect. Those things that they're not going to change. I mean, unless
Right.
your license is about to expire, which hopefully you caught that up front.
Right.
But those things don't change, so there's no reason not to put them in your file.
Right.
And just kind of wait on the rest of it.
Right.
So it makes it quicker and easier.
Right. So what else should my buyers know about working with you?
Well, we do have a lot of programs. We not only have the normal conventional rural development, VA, FHA, the normal loan programs that people look for, but we do have some in-house programs. So we have some what they call portfolio loans that the bank actually does service. We have some specialty products, one for first-time home buyers. We have a doctor loan. So we have several other products that if you don't fit into the box, we may be able to help you another way. We also have some affinity programs. So if you work in a particular career field, you might get a discount on our closing costs, which can really help you out in the end. We also have a new first-time buyer program where if our first-time buyers take the time to do a first-time home buyer education class, we will give them a $500 credit. And that's pretty significant. It
Yeah.
really helps.
Right.
So we do things like that. We also have some other programs that are out there to assist buyers. ADFA, the Arkansas Development Finance Authority, offers a down payment assistance program. We are one of the banks that offers that. We also have some, they call them help funds through
Okay.
the Federal Home Loan Bank that become available in the spring. And those things can help your buyer cover closing costs, down
Okay.
payment. Some of them are income driven, so you definitely need to talk to a loan officer about what those are, if you qualify for them, how they can work for you, if it's going to change your timeline for closing, which one of them kind of does, but it's not significant. And they can get you set in the right program. And you do need to look at that. We have a great program called Mortgage Coach, where if my client isn't sure, and we counsel them, we think this is the best for you, but let me show you why.
Right.
Well, now we have a program we can plug in all those numbers, and it will actually send you an email, and you can look at a graph that actually shows what the difference are in your costs of that loan. Not only what the payment difference will be, but what the difference in closing costs might be, what it does to your loan amount, and also what the difference is over a timeline.
Right.
So you can look 5 years ahead and say, oh wow,
Right.
maybe I really do need to do this.
Right.
Yeah, granted, I might have to come up with a little more down payment or whatever, but there's different ways to do things, and we want to offer you all those options so you can make a really informed decision, because it does make a difference, not just today in your out-of-pocket costs, but down the road. We want you to get the best deal you can, and especially when so we have buyers that are buying like their first time, or maybe they are a move-up buyer, but they're still not at the point where they think they've got the final dream home that they want to live in forever.
Right.
And the equity you build in those properties is very important moving forward, because after you've bought a home, you're no longer a first-time buyer. You can't always qualify for those low down payment assistance programs, and you may need more towards your down payment, and the equity in your property helps you with that.
Right.
So when we look at those things and try to determine what your goals are, not just short-term but long-term, you're going to be in a better position moving down the road.
Right, and I think those education classes that you talked about are sometimes more valuable than that. I mean, that $500 is nice up front, but just to have that for the life of the loan, it really gives them a really good foundation.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to explain terminology, which I'm happy to do that. I mean, like I said, we do have jargon, and you need to understand everything. So they explain terminology, but they explain how the process works. They talk about budgeting, the importance of insurance, what the different components are, like what your title company does, what your appraisal does, and home. I think they cover home inspection. So, you're getting a really good background. And if you don't know anything about those things, sometimes that's really helpful. And it's not that we can't provide that for you. We are more than happy to do that. But sometimes that home buyer class covers a greater depth of stuff, and then it can also trigger more questions on their end. So it's like, okay, so they talk about budgeting, but like, how do I go about that?
Right.
And I teach some financial literacy classes. So, I have budget worksheets that I can send them. I have things that will help. And we're also partnered with GreenPath.
I was going to say that, don't you have?
Yeah, and GreenPath is great because they offer all kinds of financial literacy. So if you go on our website, you can find that, and it'll take you to the GreenPath site, and there's tons of free resources on there. And they talk about all different kinds of things, credit, whatever you need. They do offer financial counseling if you want to avail yourself of that service. There is a charge for that, and I can't really tell you what that is, but it's great. There's so many free resources that if you have questions about credit or how to fix your credit or improve it or what you need to do, the budgeting, that can be a really great resource.
This is the last video in our 3-part series of questions to ask a mortgage lender. If you missed some of the other videos, here is the video giving more details about the home buying process. If we didn't answer all your questions, be sure to reach out to Michele or me for more information and see the description. See you again soon.
Take care.